BD5 Pilot with you out at the Hillsboro hangar, and haven't been talking with you for a while because I hurt my back last week, and that kind of prevented me from crawling around working on this plane. But I'm back here this weekend, and it's like, well, what has he been doing? You'll recall I had designed these little support wings because the panel, I need more ability to get that G3X to fit in, and the center screw actually drops down way too low to successfully mount that G3X. So I finalized this system with the smaller screws closer to the edges and wider apart that allows that to work. And in addition, I've been down here in this area around the throttle working on my routing for my coax cables for the antenna to operate, as well as looking at my clearances back here where I'm going to line up my cable runs. The cable runs aren't built yet, but I'm still in the process of building them. And I pulled the little fairing off for the rudder because this particular nut plate, I actually had a bolt break in it, and had to remove it and find another one. These were a little different size than the ones that I get from Aircraft Spruce, so I had to go scavenge one that was from one of the parts that I pulled off of the aircraft and reuse it. So I've got that part fixed, and we're ready to go to work making the cutouts a little bit larger for these rudder cable eyelets come through, because I needed just a little more clearance on that root fairing. Both engine panels are off because I'm getting back into here to finalize where the engine goes, as well as get my autopilot servos installed, and then I've got the material now to make the bulkhead to go between the firewall, basically between the engine and my compartment. And then I just finished pro sealing and putting that to unit permanently onto the drive assembly, so they don't have the little rusty looking clecos sticking out there. I also had the monstrous task of cleaning all of the earlier clecos I'd used. I had the clecos and I had the clamps as well that had Pro Seal on them. So that was about an hour's worth of getting into that paint can that has MEK in it, and then taking the brush and cleaning all those off for their next use. The bolts at the rear part of the drive assembly I had found had not been thoroughly tightened. Some of them were just partially put in, so I've tightened those down, and in the final installation, those actually get safety wired. You know, I believe I'd mentioned the material I'm going to use for that firewall and the floor of the luggage compartment, but this is a little closer look at the corrugated composite that's between two sheets of aluminum. And this actually makes for an incredibly light piece, only a little bit heavier than just the a straight aluminum piece would be. So I'm really happy with the weight. I'm excited to see what the sound deadening properties are going to be of that corrugate composite in there. Well, I'm calling it a quits for this Saturday. I'll be heading back out here tomorrow on Sunday to do a little more work on the plane. But at home, I'll be laying out more of that wiring and setting up more of the color coding, because there's more wires than you think have to go through this aircraft. BD5 Pilot out for now.